Let's get some people in. Hey. All right. Let's see. Let's get you in here. Uh, I sent you a request. Oh, okay. It's connecting. Cool, cool, cool. Hey,
Hey,
good morning. Or good
hey.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Which
good
one?
afternoon. How you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad it is the weekend
Yes.
and just, oh man, it's been a long week. So,
Yes.
yep. Okay. Well, I just give people a few minutes to get on, to come on in.
Hmm.
Today we're going to be talking about your upcoming book. It's not published, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Tell me the name of it again.
It's called Y'all Hiring, the Black
Okay.
Teens Guide to Navigating Employment.
All right. Okay. And I'm just going to pin it in the comments just so that when people come in, they know what we're talking about.
Cool.
All right. How has your week been?
The week has been busy. I'm still working remotely. It's not like things have stopped. Fortunately,
Okay.
I still have a job, but it's been busy. It's been good though. I feel like I've been able to be productive for the most part.
That's good. That's good.
How about your
Yeah.
week?
It was pretty good. I have a family member who's actually sick with the virus. So
Oh no.
just as a family, we've been kind of like trying to figure out what we're gonna do if things go south, or we're just praying and hoping that everything works out well. So we'll
Yeah,
see. Yeah,
I wish the
and so
best.
it's real. It's really happening, even if it hasn't happened, in your home, or if you don't know anybody. Like, okay, this is serious. And so, all right. Well, we got a few people. Let's go ahead and
Yeah,
get to it. And so, yeah, if you don't mind just introducing yourself, telling us who you are, what you do full time, and then tell us about your book.
yeah, for sure. So my name is Albert Phillips Jr. I'm a writer, I'm a youth advocate, entrepreneur, educator from Baltimore, Maryland, and I've been working with youth I say since at least 2013. But the more I think about it, like I can trace my footsteps back to other moments that I've had working with young people that I've really enjoyed prior to that date. But currently, I work for a nonprofit in Baltimore called Thread, and I work as an opportunity manager, connecting students and young adults with employment and academic opportunities. But my book, which I'm really, really excited about,
Mm-hmm.
coming out this fall, is called Y'all Hiring, the Black Teens Guide to Navigating Employment. And I'm just, super happy to be here to talk about it.
Yeah. So how I found you? So I follow a couple of hashtags on Instagram, and you popped up underneath one, and I was like, "Yo, that's a really crazy cool book cover." I was like,
Thank you.
"Okay, let me check out this guy." And I seen that you were doing a crowdfunding. How has
Yeah,
that been going?
it's been going really well.
Okay.
It just I just launched a crowdfunding on Kickstarter last week, last
Okay.
Saturday to be specific, and we're already at 59%. Um,
Wow.
looking to be funded. Hopefully really really soon. But the
Hmm.
last date is May the 19th, so by then.
Okay. How are you feeling with kind of in this economy right now, crowdfunding? Do you think? I mean,
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
I had a lot of thoughts prior to launching the crowdfunding campaign.
Hmm.
Um, at first I wasn't going to do it at all.
Hmm.
I talked to some people that I know, and they were like, maybe this is not the right time.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm also, I don't think anybody's sure when this time is going to be over.
Hmm.
And one of my 2020 goals was to, be an author, to get a book out more specifically.
Hmm.
And I decided that I'm not going to let anything get in the way of that. Um,
Hmm.
be it Corona, be it anything else. And then obviously, many people care about the book. They care about the subject of the book. Because with everything going on in the world, like people are still contributing, people are still sharing the information. So I'm really, really
Yeah.
appreciative.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's good. That's good. I hope you do find all the support and everything that you need, just to get your book successful. So, where did you come up with the idea for your book?
Yeah, I can trace it back to a few things. One of the things is that in my line of work, I was looking for a book like this, literally to help me with young people.
Mm,
And I couldn't find anything that was specifically geared toward, Black youth.
mm,
Something that reflected their reality, something that was empowering. And so that was one thing. I looked on Amazon, I looked on Barnes and Noble.
mm,
I did all the little independent, bookstores, and I could not find anything like this. So
mm,
that was one part of me that made me want to write it. But then I also wanted to write this book because I wanted to share parts of my employment journey. Um,
mm,
I think I've talked to different people about my journey in different ways, but I've never like galvanized it in a written form. And I want to be able to share that in a way that I could talk about some of my, pitfalls, some things that I know that I did absolutely wrong, but that I can also share some best practices, and talk about certain things that are not included in most workforce documents that I've seen. Like they are very much um, race neutral, meaning that they pretty much say you get your resume done, you get your application put in, you get your professional suit, everything's going to be perfect.
mm.
Um, and we know that that's just not the reality. We know that workplace discrimination is a real thing. But I find that we don't really have those conversations with children enough, with young people
Mm.
enough. Like amongst adults, I've had a lot of dialogues about these things. But I always was thinking about like how can I talk to a teenager about this, not in a
Yeah.
way that's making them feel defeated or like they can't overcome,
Hmm.
but to be able to better equip them for employment.
Yeah. Wow, that is true. Because I'm thinking, who told me about having to get a job? It wasn't in school. It was like an extracurricular thing that my mom signed me up for. Because I think, yeah, it's just not something that you talk about in school. Are you looking to get your book into like, I don't even know. Do they have? They do sell books in high school. It's been a while, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to getting in every high school,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Okay. Nice. 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 So then, can you give us a tip then? I mean, I have a 5-year-old, so we're not there yet. But tell us how. What's give us a beginning step. What do you share in the book?
Yeah, so the book is broken down into three different parts. Um, One part, the beginning part of the book, is about things that you can do prior to getting a job. The middle of the book goes into how can you best take advantage of a job like while you're there, um, and then towards the end of the book, or the third part, is about okay, how do you transition from one employer to the next, or from one opportunity to the next.
Mm,
And so, there are a million tips that I can give, but one that I think is very important, and that is I don't feel like it's talked about enough when it comes to workforce development, is the beauty and the importance of your network. A lot
mm,
of times in work we talk about it from like a competitive standpoint. Like you have to outdo everybody, you have to be better than everybody.
mm,
But I find that in my journey and the journey of many people who I've talked to prior to putting this book together, it has been the opposite that has gotten them to where they wanted to go. So network, specifically for teenagers, I would say, talk to your guidance counselors. Like sometimes you have to initiate the conversation.
mm.
Um, Oftentimes, even when I was in high school, I was shying away from some of those type of things because I just was like, I just want to make money and that's it. Like I'm not trying to get
Yeah.
that deep into it. I don't care about all the extra stuff. But
Mm.
networking is super important.
Yeah, I agree. I think networking is super important throughout your whole life. Like,
For sure.
I think that's where it starts. You're right. I think it does start in high school, especially if, and I don't know if you share about it in your book, or, you know, what your thoughts are about just college education. Like, I know I was in a program in California. I don't know what state are you in?
I'm in Maryland.
Maryland. Okay. I don't know if they have it out here in California. They have this program called AVID. It's stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And so I was a part of this program in high school, and they told us about like having mentors and things like that, because eventually we would need a college recommendation. And so they started us kind of on that path, and just, you know, now as an adult, I still have mentors that I talk to, and people that, you know, I go to if I don't have like the answer for something, and they are generally older than me and they're more successful and things like that. And so I think that that's something that, like I was saying, that follows them starting in high school. But what do you think about that? Would you say that's something similar, like getting a mentor, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I think that's essential.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my biggest mentors have been educators.
Yeah.
I was a Baltimore City public school teacher for a few years. And so I still maintain a relationship with my sixth grade social studies teacher, my 10th grade U.S. history teacher, my ninth grade English teacher. Like, I still maintain relationships with those folks, as well as professors that I've had in college. You know, they've connected me with internships. They've been my referrals when I needed them. So, you know, it's very, very important to have those people in your circle.
Yeah. But what about the mindset? Because I think now that I'm an adult, I understand the value of networking. But as a teenager, I didn't really get it. I just knew I had to talk to people because I would need them later. But like, I feel like I was also shy and kind of scared. Like, how do you help a teenager like with their confidence so that they know how to go about talking to adults and networking with them?
Yeah, so some of it is just about like taking that chance, like taking that risk, you know, being vulnerable and opening yourself up to ask for support. And that's difficult to do, you know, even as an adult, it's not always the easiest thing. So, but I think it takes just one step at a time, you know, being able to say, hey, you know, uncle, cousin, teacher, can you take a look at my resume? Like, I'm trying to get this job. And it may not be like in front of your class or maybe even in front of your friends, but it could be just like a one-on-one, like, hey, I just wanted to check in. You know, now in this virtual world that we're all just like living in, you know, sending an email maybe to somebody or calling or texting, you know, young people know how to communicate, right? Like, they know how to get information across, but it's more so like, what type of conversation are you trying to spark? And tying that to whatever your goals or your aspirations are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. You're on one, because you know early in the week I was watching a couple of other people on their lives, and networking I feel like has been like the topic of the week, and so I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more, because even with like it applies to every area of life. I feel like even now, like we're networking, I'm talking to you, you know, and stuff like that. And then just like as an author, I think, you know, networking is important because, you know, how else do you think that you're going to get out there? Like, do you have any ideas or tips for marketing?
Yeah, so, you know, like you just mentioned, like I'm learning as well. Prior to working on a book, I've had a clothing line for the last 5 years.
Okay.
That has been a lot of fun. Rebellious Black Soul is the name of the company. It's not It's not open at this point right now because I've shifted some of my energy into this writing, you know, into this book and many other things. But I'm going to be using some of that to kind of lean on for this experience. But just like you said, networking, like, because this is my first book, striving to learn as much as I can from other authors, particularly Black authors, and a lot of them have been supportive. I've joined like different Facebook groups. I met you, you know, this has been really, really awesome. So I'm all about networking. This is not like a field, you know, of being an author. This is not a field that I'm an expert in. So I'm definitely willing to be open and to learn from other people in this process.
Yeah. Definitely do that. I would say even getting on Twitter. Twitter is a whole completely different world from Instagram. Like I've just been on there, just kind of doing some, I guess, marketing research. I'd say I'd call it, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of information that's on Twitter that's not on Instagram. And I'm like, for example, I didn't know that it was April is also it's called April Indie on Twitter. April Indie, hashtag April Indie, right? And it's just about celebrating independent authors. And I was like,
Okay.
yo, that's definitely up my field. And so I was like, oh, okay. I said, I want to have more of these different interviews. So if you're an author and you would like to get on and, let's chit chat over Instagram Live, let me know, shoot me a DM. I would love to. And so, yeah, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I definitely am about supporting, other independent authors. I've published a couple of books myself. I am a publisher, so I do publish other people's works, but I'm also an author. And so definitely getting in those Facebook groups, getting on other platforms. I think your book would also do really well on LinkedIn because
Yeah.
that's all the businesses, that's all the professors, colleges, high schools, all the teachers are all going to be on there. And so just exploiting your book on there, I think that would also be like a good place for you to look at as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made a post on LinkedIn
Okay.
probably a few days ago, and yeah, a lot of people have been hitting me up from there.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So cool. Let's see. Anything else? Where can we get more information about your book and your crowdfunding?
Yeah, so I tried to make it really, really simple for people. I don't want you to have to type in this long web
Mm-hmm.
address that you'll never remember. But the website is www.yallhiring, so YALL hiring.com, and you can see the Kickstarter. You can watch a video about me in this whole book idea.
Mm-hmm.
You can also read, more of a descriptive version of what we just talked about today to get more information about the book. There's some
Mm-hmm.
really cool rewards. If you pledge a certain amount, you'll be able to get the book before anybody else, as well
Nice.
as many other things. So y'allhiring.com, check it out.
Okay. And then, so I'm curious, tell us more about the crowdfunding because I've never done that. I heard that authors do that, but like, how did you get set up? What were the different things that you needed to do to launch that?
Yeah, I honestly looked at other authors.
Mm,
They have a publishing section on Kickstarter, and I just wanted to see like what were some of the best practices that other authors took when putting together their campaigns.
mm,
So I looked at a lot of ones that were successful, and a lot of them gave really, really good tips and ideas. And Kickstarter now they have like a tip section that you can read over and learn. So before you even just jump out there and launch your own,
yeah.
I think it's really important just to like research other people and already have in mind like who are the people that you want to talk to and connect with, like
Mm,
who's going to want to support your campaign or who is most likely, because after you get outside your circle of like friends and family,
mm-hmm,
like you're going to need to increase your influence. So just thinking proactively about those things have been helpful, and
mm,
just having fun with it. Like
yeah.
I love providing my backers with updates. Like I told them about this interview that we're having today.
Mm.
So have some fun, do some research, and go for it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's all good. Thank you so much for joining me for this. We definitely have to check back with you when this comes out. When do you have an expected release date or
Yeah, I'm hoping this fall, like
this fall?
October,
Okay.
November. That's what I'm looking forward to. So
Okay.
yeah, we can definitely reconnect.
Okay, definitely. Hey, well, I'm going to let you go. It's been such a pleasure. Again, if you're an author and you would like to get on Instagram Live with me, let's do it. Connect, shoot me a DM, and hope you have a. Hey, stay safe out there in Maryland.
You too. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
All right, bye bye.
Bye. All right. Hey, what do you guys think? I think that's awesome. The name of the book was called Y'all Hiring. You guys can check him out at y'allhiring.com. I will be back later today. I'll be talking to another author. We'll be doing more of a question and answer session. So please come back. That is this evening. All right. Until then, have a good day. Stay safe out there.